So I commend you on an excellent decision, well made. I also wanted to just give you a little walk back in my history in this industry. I've been doing this for about 20 years now. And I wanted to kind of boil it down for you with the story of 4 different people. First of all, Mr. and Mrs. Richardson back in Baltimore, Maryland. Mr. and Mrs. Richardson didn't really want to move to Charlestown, the community that I was helping to promote at the time. And through a wonderful set of circumstances, I finally dragged them in kicking and screaming. And about a month after they had moved in, here I saw dour Mrs. Richardson walking with much purpose toward my office with an envelope in her hand. And I thought, oh no, here comes a cancellation note. And she put the envelope in my hand and she said, Barry, and I said, yes, Mrs. Richardson. And she said, I wanted to let you know this is the best decision my husband and I have ever made. And in the envelope, you'll find some ideas for new names for that community that you're building in Dearborn, Michigan. So that's Mr. and Mrs. Richardson. Then the next person that I wanted to talk about was Reed Johnson, R-H-E-A, and she moved into a community in Glenview, Illinois. She was in a crowd very much like this, at about this point in the development of that community, where she stood up and shared with her other future friends, her other future neighbors. You know, there are basically 2 reasons that Harry and I decided to do this. And the first reason is, we're going to make more friends. Now, who would have ever imagined, she said, that at this stage in our lives that we would be interested in new friends, or that that opportunity would present itself. But when we move to this community, that's exactly what we're looking forward to, is making new friends. And then the next thing she said was, we're also giving a gift to our kids. And I don't think I need to say more on that. She went on to elaborate a little bit, but I think you probably understand the gift of the children to the children that you're giving by making this decision. My in-laws are the next couple that I'd like to talk about. And my mother-in-law is a planner, so she's been planning to do this for probably 30 years now. And she had everything taken care of. And they moved in again a little while ago. And I was working with someone in a community in California, and this gentleman came to me and said, you know, I'm just not ready to do this. I don't want to give up all the fun that I'm having and all the activity that I'm having to move into this retirement community you're trying to sell me. So I kind of knew the answer because I'd heard a lot of other people say it, but I thought, I'll call my mother-in-law and find out what she has to say about that, because she just recently moved in. I called her and said, Mom, do you find yourself less active now that you're living in this community? And she said, no, I'm far more active than I was in the previous 5 years doing all that planning to move into this place. Now I have all the time that I want to do the things that are important to me. I don't have to do all the grocery shopping that I did before. I don't have to worry about so many things, cleaning up after housekeeping or any of that. I get to do more now with people that I really enjoy than I was able to do in the 5 years before I moved here. And then lastly, my dad. My dad was a wonderful man, and I love him dearly. But he didn't make very many good decisions in the last 25 years of his life. And I'll never forget the day that he called me and he said, Barry, I've made a decision. And I thought, oh, now what? He said, I've decided to move to this continuing care or retirement community. And I put the phone down, I got down on my knees, and I said, thank you, Lord. I didn't even hear the rest of it. And that one decision was responsible, I'm just convinced, for his living the last 8 years of his life in a wonderful setting with great people that he got to know and love. He got to go to daily mass because there was a chapel right there on the campus. He was well taken care of. We were living across the country, so when he got sick and needed help, we didn't have to drop everything right then and fly back. We could make our plans accordingly and then go back and help take care of that. And he died peacefully in his sleep one night, which is just the greatest gift that he could have given to us and to himself, fortunately, too. So, again, I commend you on the wise decision that you've made. And I'm very happy for you, and you have no idea what you're in for. I'm so excited. I will say this just from something that I've observed, and you'll think this is just hyperbole, but it's not. For those of us who have worked in this business and have opened communities like the Pinnacle at Eden Hill, after the people move in, they get younger. It's amazing. So I invite you to take a good look around you right now. Okay, yeah. You can use a few years less. Okay, she's looking a little long in the tooth. Okay? After you guys move in, they're going to look like Brian Devlin, who I'll introduce in this minute. Now, I do want to give you some useful information. The project is going exceedingly well, as Larry alluded to, and on the bond financing, which is kind of the process we're in right now, the bond documents are being drafted by the attorneys, as Larry said. We've received a commitment from a local bank, provide $18 million in construction funding, which is wonderful. That's Broadway Bank out of San Antonio, so you can thank them for that. Most of the bonds, they'll be tax-exempt municipal bonds, we anticipate will be purchased by institutional investors. But if that's something that you're interested in the future, then at the proper time we'll let you know. And we'll be having seminars that are put on by the bankers to help you understand what that opportunity might be. And then you might be able to purchase some of the bonds. The goal is to issue a preliminary official statement early in December. That preliminary official statement is a very thick document that has everything that you could imagine in it about this particular credit. And that starts the official bond sale process. Of course, we've got the holidays in December, so that's a little bit of a little challenge. But we would anticipate that the bonds would be funded and the construction would begin sometime late January, early February. With a 18-month construction schedule, roughly, that means mid-2013 is when we anticipate being open. So those are kind of long lead items for you to think about. Some of you are kind of thinking, oh no, that's a little while. But believe me, it'll sneak up on you, won't it? Isn't it wonderful to have all this time to plan a move?
Yes,
Okay. How many people have lived in their home for 40 years or more? Okay. So, she's really happy she has all this time. 30 years or longer? Anybody? Okay. So 20 years or longer. I know we got it. Okay, how about if you moved last week? Well, we'll get to know each other, and we're very excited to host these types of events to let you do that and to start to build the friendships that are going to create a wonderful fabric for this community for years and years to come and make it the most attractive place in this area to live. So thank you very much for your confidence. Thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for keeping an open mind and making this life fun. And we're just excited to welcome you to your new community. Thanks.
Thank you.